Hi everyone, my name is Omar and welcome back to the Debo's Way. So if you're anything like me, sometimes you have a lot of things that you want to get done during the day, but then you either feel like you don't have enough time in the day or you feel like the day is running away from you. So I used to feel like that all the time up until I came across this concept, or my friend told me, or I came up with it. I'm actually not sure, but it's the concept of splitting your day into multiple days. Let me explain what that means. So having multiple days within the same day simply means that we're gonna break down our waking hours into small multiple days. And the reason I say waking hours is because, well, when you're sleeping, so there's not much we can do then, but there's a lot you can do when you're awake. So in your waking hours, you're gonna split those waking hours into multiple sub days. And why are we gonna do that? We're gonna do that because if you look at all the things you want to get done in a day, it can get quite overwhelming. But then when you split down all these things into small manageable tasks, into small manageable days, then it becomes more doable. Or at least you can trick your mind into thinking that it's more doable. And I think the best way for us to explain this and for us to understand it together is through an activity. So that's what we're gonna do next. Now, maybe you're watching this video after work or you're tired from school, so it's fine. I'll cut you some slack. You can do it later. But if you have the energy in you, I promise you it will help you to do it now. And here's what I want you to do. And I'm also gonna be doing this with you. If I'm good enough at editing, there will be some nice visuals. If not, I apologize. Try to follow along with me. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to write everything that you want to complete today, or depending on the timing you're watching this video. So if you're watching it at night, write everything you need to do tomorrow and write it down on a paper in like bullet points. Okay? Let's both do that and then we'll be back together. So as you can hopefully see by my list, I love how I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to put a list, but hopefully there's a list when I'm pointing. But as you can see by my list, I have number one and number two. And I love how I'm saying number one, number two, and I can't see anything, by the way. Like, I don't know how YouTubers do this. But anyways, so imagine number one and number two is, the first one is I want to call a friend. And then number two is I want to read my book. So then I'm going to take number one and number two, and then that's the objective of day one. So in day one, all I want to do is I want to call a friend, and then I also want to read my book. And then I'm not going to think about day two. I'm not going to think about all the work I need to get done in day two. I don't need to think about day three. All I'm going to think about is day one, because all I have right now is day one. Because remember what we talked about in the last video? We want our mind and our body to be within the same day. And actually, we want it to be within the same moment. So when I'm in day one, all I'm thinking about is that book that I'm reading and that friend that I'm gonna call. So now we're gonna fill out day two. And as you can see, day two says work from 9 to 6:30. So we're gonna put that into day two. And when we're in day two, we're not gonna think about day one, and we're definitely not gonna think about day three. We're just going to think about day two. And now that we filled out day one and day two, all we have left is day three. And as you can see, points 4, 5, and 6. So I just want to chill with my brother, I want to cook dinner, and then I want to practice some Spanish. So as you can see, they don't all need to be productive things. You can plan something as simple as just wanting to chill with your parents or your friends or your siblings or whoever it may be. Maybe you just want to chill with yourself, but be intentional with it. Don't have your day all scattered around. It's like, where do I even begin? And by the way, I don't always split my day into sub days, and I don't always split my day into 3 sub days. So for example, on Saturday, I don't like to split my day at all. I go with the flow and I see where the day takes me. On Sunday, I split my day into 2 days because it's still the weekend and I don't want to have as much structure. But then during the week, when I have all these things I want to get done, I like to trick my brain. And I like to break down everything that I need to do into very small, manageable tasks where it seems easier to do than it is not to do. And that's what works for me by splitting my days into sub days. So see what works for you. This is the Debo's way. Find your own way. And remember that this is a skill that we're both gonna work on. So this isn't something that you're gonna try tomorrow and then suddenly become the most productive human in the world. It's gonna take you time to understand what works for you. How many sub days do you wanna have? Do I even wanna have sub days? And these are all questions that you're gonna be able to properly answer once you start to take action and to try new things. And another thought I wanna give you before ending the video is that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. I had this poster of Mike Tyson beside my bed in university. Every single day I would look at it to remind myself that you can plan as much as you want, but things can happen. So it's so good to plan your day into sub days and have all these plans, but also be flexible with yourself. Sometimes things come up, emergencies happen, and your priorities change because circumstances alter cases. So have a plan, but be flexible. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I've given you something to think about. And let me know in the comments how many days you're splitting your day into. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. See you soon and peace!